And one of the couples he influenced to come to my side of the world, the names are the late Dr. Mark Buntain and his lovely wife, who stepped in the ports of Calcutta on October 6, 1954. As Mark Buntain seeing the destruction that this madman by the name of Satan had brought into this nation, he drew a line in the sand and sent a notice by hanging a lamp on the doorpost of hell, and began to start a ministry. In the first 100 years, the first church was built in Calcutta, India, called the Assemblies of God Church. And something happened in that church that changed the course of our destiny and our future forever. Oh, you gotta understand, in our churches, there are no air conditioning. So the windows are wide open, the fan blows the hot air from one end of the room to the next. It's 10,000 degrees in there, and we all sit there and we sweat. And the place has a certain air about it, but we don't know no difference. But the only thing that I never understood about this missionary, Mark Buntain, when he preached in one volume, and it was loud, man. So being the teenager that I was, I one day, out of curiosity, I never called him pastor, I called him Uncle Mark because he's like a father figure to me. I called him Uncle Mark. I said, Uncle Mark, would you explain to me? I thought, okay, we're poor, we're from a third world, but why does this guy think we're deaf? So I asked him, I said, why do you preach so loud, man? So being older than I am, he turned around and asked me a question. He said, do you like the music loud? Oh, I wish I could take you to our churches. There are no deaf people in our church. You walk in there, man, it just opens up. It's so loud, back of your hair stood straight out. Didn't need no gel, nothing, man. Just stood straight out. We were like, don't turn it down, man. The louder it is, the closer we are to God and all this stuff. I said, don't turn. He said, the reason why we have the music loud is because we're not singing for the people that are inside the church. We're singing for the people that are outside the church. He said, that's why when I preach, I'm not preaching for the people that are inside the church. We're preaching for the people that are outside the church. I'm so glad he had that concept, because you see, before we were saved, my dad in his drunken stupor was drunk, stinking, smelling, wandered into this church, and he began to listen to this music and found out it was free. He thought, free good music, there's something wrong with these people. I gotta check it out, man. He took a seat at the back. I'm so glad the deacons and the elders did not kick him out because he did not look right or smell right. They let him listen to this music, and after a little while he saw this great big white man get up there and passionately talk about a Jesus. He thought, who is this God? I don't need another God in my life. I got Muhammad, I got Krishna, I got Buddha, I got all the isms in my life. I don't need another God. Look at me. I'm a beaten, broken man. I got nothing to give to this Jesus Christ. And who would ever want somebody like me? Oh, he thought it was a good time for him to get up and leave. And when he tried to get up and leave from his seat, he could not move in his seat. And the more he tried, the more stuck he got. And all of a sudden he found out he was sober. Oh, he got really afraid now. And he began to argue with this Jesus. He said, who are you, Jesus? Who are you? All the gods that I am serving are trying to make their way to heaven. Who are you, Jesus, that you would leave the thrones of heaven to come down to earth to die on a cross for me? You see, the world is asking that question. The world is asking that question. Who are you, Jesus? Who are you? And we have the answer sitting in this house. In this house. The answer for the world is in this house. While he was arguing with this Jesus, he saw a bright light on the right side of his body. And God began to reveal every one of his sins like he was watching a movie. The people that had died because of his witchcraft, the destruction on his family and his friends. He did not like the looks of his past. None of us do. And he began to work on his witchcraft, wanting to wipe this thing away before his eyesight. And when he tried, it did not happen. Just then he heard a voice from heaven. And this is what it said. If you do not give your life to me today, you are doomed forever. Something shot my dad clean out of his seat. He made his way to the altar, something like this, not as this pretty. He knelt down and he asked this Jesus to come into his heart and change his life forever. And from that day, ladies and gentlemen, our destiny, Our future was changed forever because the head of the household had made it right with God. After that, there were no ands, ifs, or buts. We went to church every day. I still remember that Sunday as a little 8-year-old boy. My sisters, my 3 sisters, my younger brother and myself and my mom, we followed Dad to the foot of the cross, knelt down at the altar and asked Jesus to come into our hearts and change our lives forever. And from that day, we have never looked back since. Think about it. I used to sleep on the streets. I'm an ex-street kid. When I go back to India, I go back to all of the places where I used to sleep. I never want to ever forget that, of the grace of God. And from then on, there were no ands, ifs, or buts. We went to church every day. When we gave our hearts to the Lord. I had no dreams. I had no goals. What do you dream about? A better sidewalk. But God began to instill His dreams and goals into my life. Going through school, getting involved in church, never dreaming that I would live in a place called the United States of America. Never. But God brought an incredible dream. It came in this package. The first time I laid eyes on this thing in Calcutta, India. It came in this package of 5'1", blonde, blue-eyed. I thought to myself, ay, 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 ay. I had to remind myself, I said, back off, boy, you're from India. You're an ex-street child. She's from the United States of America. She won't even look at you. But doesn't God have a sense of humor? Marrying my incredible wife, who I'm indebted to. Coming and living in the United States of America, going through school. And I began to work for a little oil company. You may have heard about these people called British Petroleum. Isn't that crazy? God really has a sense of humor, doesn't He? Next street child. Now he's in the corporate world, telling them how to handle their money. But October 6th, 1996, God asked for my job. I said, God, what do you want from me? He said, I did not bring you to the United States of America to work in the corporate world. I brought you here to work in my world. I said, God, I'm not a very good preacher. He said, oh, I know that. I said, I can just sing a little bit. He said, you're okay. I said, with my kind of a testimony, with my singing ability, I said, God, let me help you out. He said, how? I said, I'll get on TBN. It didn't happen. So I thought, okay, God, I'd be the next T.D. Jakes. I'll get up there, go get ready. And 10,000 people will stand up and get ready and follow me. Did not happen. I thought I'd be the next Benny Hinn. I'd wave my hand, 20,000 people would hit the deck. Didn't happen, man. I thought I'd be the next Shamba, where there'll be 4,000 people saved, where there was only 3,000 people there. It did not happen. I said, God, what do you want from me? He said, go to my house. Go to my house. And I said, what do I tell them? And isn't this wonderful that He has given us His word? He has given us His word to follow Him. To follow Him. He's given us there's no other God that has ever said